Hi, Ella. We have a school technology leadership committee that is working hard to figure out how we can use technology more effectively in our elementary school. We are hoping our new teacher will be able to serve on this committee. Please share a bit about the knowledge, skills, and abilities you could bring to this committee. What kinds of things do you think that we should be discussing in this committee?
That's an excellent question. I think that as an educator, I have quite a bit of experience in terms of technology. I have experience using interactive whiteboards and other smartboard technologies. Additionally, providing lesson plans that adhere to ISTE standards as well as UDL practices. I think are important things to consider when trying to implement technology into your curriculum. I think something that you need to discuss with your board is whether or not you want to take the next step into technology, whether you want it to be a foundational component in your curriculum or if you want it to be just as supplemental support. Technology can be used as a way to link you to global technologies and other schools around the world. You can Skype with students from multiple places to help open your students up to new cultures and peoples. So I think that's something you need to consider if you want to have the hardware to be able to handle that kind of curricular focus, or if you want it to be more as a in-class aid, such as using videos or interactive whiteboards to help students find a new way of gaining information. So I think that's a great question. I feel that I could bring a lot to that board in terms of experience, knowledge, and awareness technologically.
Some of our teachers recently attended a conference where the focus was on students as designers and makers of technology. I think they also used the term students as producers at the conference. What does it mean when students are designers, makers, and producers with technology? And is this something we should take seriously as we consider how to use technology across our school?
That's another excellent question. Those are very, very important factors when considering how you're going to use technology. Students can either be producers or consumers. This usually is associated with student-centered lessons or teacher-centered. So in terms of students being producers, this relates directly to some of the ISTE standards, such as knowledge constructor, students becoming knowledge constructors. This is incredibly important. I believe that for students to be producers, they need to be well adjusted to the technologies. So they need to be familiar with actually using these technologies to produce content that makes sense to them in a meaningful way. So you need to be able to have enough technological resources for them to be participating, not just a teacher. So that's something that the board also has to consider is the amount of resources necessary to make that happen.
Great. Our district is really pushing global education, and next year this needs to be part of our school improvement plan. What sorts of things should we be thinking of, and can technology help in any way?
Okay, so I guess you guys have decided to make the push for more global technology platforms, so I think that's great. I think you need to consider getting the right kind of software to be able to connect with schools all around the world. I know there are websites and reputable websites that you can go on to connect to different teachers across the globe and to interact with their classes. I have personally, experienced Skyping with teachers from Japan, and I found it to be very enriching, experience for myself as an educator, and I'm sure students would take a lot from that. So there are lots of free resources that you can look for, as well as some that will take into consideration that you are a school. So I think that opening yourself up to that globalized viewpoint is going to be really something that your students are going to benefit from.
Great. And then one more question. We often struggle to engage parents at the school. We did a survey last year and learned that almost all of our families have access to the internet via mobile phones or computers in the home. How might we leverage this access to improve homeschool communication?
I think that's fantastic that you've done a survey to find out what kind of resources your families are working with. I think that's a smart move. I think what you need to do is find creative ways to keep parents in the loop without alienating them. What I mean by this is you can't set Skype meetings with all the parents in the class, at a certain time when, some parents might have different schedules or whatnot. So I think the best thing to do is explore some of these newer apps. I know there are some that you can text parents and students at the same time from a third-party number, so that you're not giving away your own personal information. This is a great way to just send a quick reminder. It's not over the top to parents about homework, grades, and additionally it provides them a platform to communicate back to you. I think that helping teachers set up classroom blogs and websites is another really fantastic way to keep parents interested in what's going on at the school, in their students' classroom, and finding ways to get involved through this platform. Additionally, I would suggest opening up multiple mediums for parents to voice their opinions. Maybe having a school blog where they can post anonymous tips, concerns. There should be, email, obviously. So there are a lot of different routes you can take in terms of homeschool communication. I think it's incredibly important because the more support we have from parents, the better we can do our jobs. And technology definitely helps make this a much easier process for both parties, especially with that high of a technology base, in your parents and at your students' homes. So those are just a couple ways, and I'm sure that we could come up with many more. There are plenty of resources out there.
Thanks for coming in, Ella.
Thank you for having me. No, truly, thank you for having me. Thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to hearing from you.
We'll get back to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.